Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to SMD Fishing. And welcome to SMD Fishing if you're here for the first time. I do appreciate you joining in.
That was Mozart.
Today's in this part of this series that I'm making for beginner bass fishermen. Today we're going to be talking about pros and cons of a spinning rod. Right there, spinning rod versus a bait caster. Okay, and which one, I chose to do first, or chose to purchase and use first, I guess you would say, for bass fishing. So yeah, like I said, I'm just going to go through my pros and cons, just personal experiences with it. I won't get ridiculously detailed. I want to keep this really simple, really easy to understand, so anybody who watches this can definitely pick up which one they feel is best for them. Give it a try, and these are going to be budget items. No need to spend $300, $400 of course. This is going to be budget items, something that could be reliable and anyone can use at any point in time. And maybe later on down the line, spend a little extra, and you'll see the benefits of putting just a little bit more money into your gear. Now I'm just going to give you about 3 or 4 tips per setup. Like I said, you can ask anyone. There's a lot of different I guess differences between the two, and like I said, what can be a pro, what can be a con for either one. But like I said, I'm just gonna give you a few, just to like I said, give you a general basis of what you're about to get into. So first, I want to start off with the bait caster. Let's see, this is a Lew's Mach 2. Like that setup there, very light, very proficient. First things first for me when it comes to a bait caster, I like the simplicity of it. Well, I want to say one less step than throwing a spinning reel, and you'll see that next couple videos. You'll see exactly how to cast them. But that's one simple thing for me. It's just literally a push button and roll. Instead of the actual spinning rod, where you have to grab the line, flip the bill, then cast it. Just one extra step. Okay. But a big thing for me, item like this, a bait caster, they offer a lot faster gear ratios. Gear ratios, and you'll hear numbers 7:2 to 1, 8:2 to 1, things like that for bait casters. The higher the number, like I said, let's go with 7:2 to 1. For every time you turn this handle all the way around, one full rotation, this spool rotates a complete 7.2 times, which is weird. Let's say 7 times. It's like X amount of inches as well, once you get to 7:2 to 1 or 8:3 to 1, whatever case may be. But every single time you turn this, a complete circle, I guess you would say, complete revolution, the spool turns a complete 7 times. No clue how they calculated that, but that's pretty cool, okay? But that's one thing that bait casters offer. You can reel in baits a lot faster in comparison to a spinning setup, which are usually around 5:3 to 1, or maybe even 6, somewhere around there. And it depends on what brand you buy, things like that. But 9 times out of 10, bait casters are going to be a lot faster for reeling. Not saying all baits need to be reeled fast as you can possibly do it. It's not what I'm saying. Just saying the added benefits of a bait caster. Now, the number 2 thing that I like about bait casters is the accuracy. Like I said, it's literally a push button and throw, and I feel a lot more accurate with a bait caster than I do a spinning reel. Again, these are all my personal preferences and personal pros and cons. Accuracy is a bit key, especially when you start fishing in areas where it's a lot of tree, a lot of lay down. You want to get in tight little areas to get your bait right in front of the bass face. That's exactly where they're going to be, in nice cover or structure, things like that. So you want to have a nice accurate cast, so you have a good presentation to entice that fish to eat. If you can't get it right beside that log or right beside that tree limb hanging over, it's going to be a little tougher, to get bass out of that cover, because they want to sit in cover and ambush fish that come by. That's their main way of eating, ambush. They're sitting behind a tree limb or something like that fish can't see them as the fish comes by it. They're gonna be sitting on the other side waiting to ambush. That's just what they do. Okay. All right, that was weird. Heard a bunch of noise behind me. So yes, accuracy. Accuracy is very key. when it comes to bass fishing. And you'll notice it, especially on like longer casts, you want to get it in the perfect spot and not be too close to your target, to spook the fish, with movements or talking, things like that. So accuracy is key, and I feel that bait casters offer a little more accuracy. Now third, again, I'm not gonna go into too many tips, too many points with this. Like I said, I want to keep it short and simple. The third thing with the bait caster that I feel is a great advantage is it allows you to land bigger fish. When I say bigger fish, okay, we're talking about bass fishing still. Okay, I know some guys, if you'll use a spinning setup in certain other situations. Let's say, large catfish, things like that. We're sticking here with bass fishing, okay? So how I feel this helps you land bigger fish. Let's say give it a good cast out. You're winding your bait, no problem. Boom, you get a fish, hit it. Let's say that fish is coming towards you. That fast gear ratio is going to catch up with that line. Okay, that's another important piece about having a bait caster. Catch up that line so you can set the hook. And then bait casters offer a little more torque when you're trying to hoist that fish in, especially guys who might be in Florida, Cali, things like that, who punch a lot. After that hook set, they have a nice bait caster that can hoist that fish out of that cover, out of that vegetation, things like that. Bait casters definitely allow you to do that a lot better than what a spinning rod would allow you to do. All right, so that's just three quick positives, I guess you say, pros to this situation of having a bait caster. Cons, first number one of all number ones. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now. That wasn't nice at all. Why did I do that? It wasn't a good idea, okay? But that right there, it's called a bird's nest, okay? Bird's nest is one con of having a bait caster. Now I'm gonna sit here and get this out. Give me 1 second. Don't ever do one of these on purpose, okay? It sucks. Holy
2 hours later.
Don't ever create your own bird's nest, ever, okay? That's number one. That just took me like, yes, it's 5 minutes, but at the same time, it felt like a lifetime when you want to fish. Bird's nest is the worst thing ever when it comes to bait casters, okay? Another con, I would say, when you first started learning throwing a bait caster, is how to cast it, period. Okay, when I say how to cast it, you won't get the most out of it, okay? And you won't know it unless someone, taught you how to properly dial in your reel there. So just learn how to cast it farther, more accurate in comparison to just like a spinning rod, especially if you guys grew up catfishing. You're literally just letting that thing just ride, of course, right? But this one you actually have to, on your cheaper setups, not saying this is cheap, but on your cheaper setups, or especially reels, throw it out there. If you don't stop this spool with your thumb, right when it hits the water, you'll automatically create a backlash. If you throw too fast or too hard, trying to get that really, really far cast, it can cause itself to unleash its own backlash, or bird's nest. That right there is a con itself. I guess each reel is unique and you have to dial them in, accordingly. And my third con for this, I'm gonna give you three. My third con for this is ridiculously hard to throw in the wind. Okay, when I say it's different, if the wind's behind you, cool, no problem. You can throw it, no problem. If the wind is coming towards you or at an angle and you're trying to cast that way, bird's nest, okay? Backlash, bird's nest, whatever you want to call it. But that's another con to this. That's one thing you don't have to deal with the spinning setup. And we'll get right to that right now. Spinning setup. All right, just got stabbed by a crankbait. So that's the spinning setup there, okay? And I run left-handed. I'm not left-handed, but I like to cast right-handed and be able to start reeling with my left. Same thing on all my bait casters. And that's one thing you have to decide too when you decide to purchase one of these. So let's start with pros. Pros of this, as you can see, I got a pretty small bait here. I do like how spinning rods allow you to cast lighter baits a lot easier. Not saying you can't with the bait caster, but I think I personally, again, these are my personal thoughts, I think it's a little easier with a spinning setup. This is a medium action spinning setup here. Allows you to throw, like I said, lighter baits, and they have medium light, things like that. And we'll get into that another story, okay? Give you a quick tip, just in case you're about to go buy one right now as far as a spinning or a bait caster. Get something with a gear ratio of 7:2, 7:3 to 1, something like that. That's a good starting point. And at least 7 foot or 7.2 medium heavy fast action rod. That's the best starting point. I'm not going to name any brands, things like that. Totally up doing your research, but that's a good starting point for bait casters. A good starting point for a spinning rod. This could be debatable depending on the company. This is a 7-foot medium power rod. The action, I want to say it's fast, yes. And it'll say it right on these. On each rod, it'll say the exact specs, you know, what the rod offers. So I think a medium action rod is a good starting point with the spinning setup. You can go medium heavy if you want to, you know, certain baits, and again, that's a whole another topic. But up to you, medium or medium heavy. 7 foot is important. Most of the reels are like 5-to-1 or 6-to-1 or something like that. Yeah, this one right here is a 5.2-to-1, getting a little slower. I think it's a good setup for starting with a spinning setup if you go that route. Sorry, back to pros. Did I say a pro? I don't know, I forgot. Pro number 1 to this, oh I did, I'm sorry, throwing light baits. That's a very, very good pro. Like I said, Ned rigs, things like that, and you'll learn about that later as you get further into bass fishing. Ned rigs, little finesse baits, small little baby baits. Great, this is great for that. I'm throwing a DT6 right now, made by Rapala, and I'm in late winter, early spring. Well, it's spring. Let's go to early spring right now. This early spring, DT6 one's great. You don't have to. This doesn't move that fast. It's real as far as reeling it. It's a slower gear ratio, right? As we talked about earlier, which allows this bait to still do its due, but not be, you know, like in the summertime where you can move baits a lot faster. Another pro to this. Just like I finished up with the baitcaster, as far as it's hard to throw it and win, you don't get backlash to the bird's nest with a spinning setup. Not saying your line can't get tangled up around, you know, one of the items here. Not saying that, but 9 times out of 10 you could throw it in the wind with little to no issues. Okay, little to no issues. But this handles a lot better. I've never got a bird's nest, I guess you would say. With a spinning rod. Okay, I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that. I don't know how you did it. But yeah, this one's great for throwing in the wind. Cool, no problem. Bam. Now another pro to this. These generally cost a little less. Okay, if you're worried about being on a budget, this costs a little less, and I think it's a little easier to start throwing. I know it's like a 2-tip-in-1 or 2-pro-in-1. Instead of dealing, nothing wrong with a bait caster personally when you know how to do it. But you'll grab that line there, and again, I'll go through a whole video on how to cast both of these. But you're just grabbing a line, flipping the bill, and releasing. Okay, as you throw out. Okay, so that's another pro to this. Now, con to this, number 1 is speed. These are a lot slower normally, as far as when it's time to reeling baits back then, or trying to catch up with a fish that might be coming towards you, trying to catch up really fast. That's a con to me personally. Another con. This normally is, you're throwing on a lighter bait, so I wouldn't consider this great for catching bigger fish, unless it's the proper setup, proper spinning rod setup for catching bigger fish. There is a difference. But normally for bass fishing, most guys aren't trying to catch a 10-pounder with a spinning rod. Not saying it can't happen, because you can throw on a wacky rig or something like that and hook into a giant. You never know. You just got to take your time, reel her in. Now I think, because 9 times 10 you're running lighter line with this. That's the only thing. It's a lot more versatility with the bait caster instead of the spinning rod. Not many other cons of this. Like, this is a really simple item. But I think that's about it. That's my thoughts on pros and cons for a bait caster versus spinning setup. Which one do I prefer to start with? It's going to have to be the bait caster. Okay. That one right there is made by KastKing. You guys, I've got I got a good amount of KastKing items, just because their price point's good, and quality of their items is pretty good to me. And you can find KastKing stuff right on Amazon. That's what I prefer to start with, is a bait caster. Yes, take your time, go in the backyard, go wherever you got to go, to whether it's local pond, things like that, to get a good starting point of learning how to cast it. And I'll be making that video coming up soon in a couple days, so definitely watch out for that. But that's it, pros and cons for a spinning rod versus bait caster. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, especially you guys who already, are experienced in this or have a little bit of experience with it already. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Which one's better to start with, bait caster versus spinning rod? And do you feel that you can add any pros or add any cons to either one? Just let me know. I enjoyed talking with you guys. I appreciate you guys joining in today. and we'll be out with the next video in the next few days with this playlist. Appreciate you guys watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get that notification button so you guys can get these videos. I'm coming out every week, possibly multiple times a week. I do appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys next time.